Hello and welcome back. And I've started off here again just because there's the hellebores. I mean, they really are putting on a show now, and we've still got more coming up, and I've also got a new favourite as well. Right, so for this episode I'm going to be going round, you know, some of the beds and the raised beds and showing what's growing, and also recap on what I have actually sowed and what I have mentioned that I'm going to sow, and also what else I'm going to sow in the next week or two. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go through, I think I'll go through these beds first. We've got 4 purple sprouting broccoli, and they're just starting to get some of their florets coming out. And then the rest of this bed is spinach. And it's doing really well, considering we've had some -10 temperatures during the winter time. This has survived really well, same as the mustard wasabi, the mizuna. And on this bed, this is cultivated rocket with more mizunas, the lime streak and the mustard wasabi. And then we've got this wild rocket. So what's really nice is when I come out of the kitchen is I can come out and see these 2 full beds and also these hellebores. Right, so this is the view I'm getting when I'm coming out of the kitchen. You know, to see this, all this greenery in the beds, these 2 beds, and then all the colours behind it. It's making such a big difference in these, well, this rainy months. I wouldn't say winter months now, I would just say rain months. So yeah, so this one is all those rockets and the mizunas as well. So, you know, got the mizunas at the back and the wild rocket and this cultivated rocket. So it's just about ready now to start picking. And it's the same with the spinach. I can just start to take a few pickings off that now. And then if I walk around here, just getting the first florets on the purple sprouting broccoli. I mean, I don't know how many I'll get off that. They're pretty small plants, but it really is a pretty flower in itself. And then these are the hellebores. Right, so like I say, they really are making a difference to the garden at the moment. And just right on cue, there's a big massive black cloud behind the camera now, so we're going to have to be quick. And this is what it is. Every time it's been raining, it's just been really nice just to see, every time we come out, all these different colours. And like I say, also with all this greenery in these beds. So while I'm here, I'm just going to show you how much those house dwarf tomatoes have grown in the last 2 weeks. So these are the house dwarf that I potted on 2 weeks ago in the last video. I mean, they've grown so much in the last 2 weeks, and they are just doing it under whatever sunlight we've had, which has not been much. And they're all doing really well. You know, the only heat I've got in here is on the chilies and the peppers, which I've had mixed results on at the moment. So what I've done is I've done some more in the wet paper towel method and then put them in here as they started to germinate. So see what we get with those. But like I say, really impressed with how much these house dwarf have grown, just with what little sunlight that we've had. Alright, so these raised beds are doing okay. The kale's doing fine, and so is the wild rocket. And the spinach in these beds is just starting to flourish again. So hopefully I'll get some pickings off that. And if I just come over here, these are the feltham early peas that I putting into the paper towel last time. So what I'm going to do is just cover these up and put a fleece over them, because we're going to get a frost tonight. But yeah, the spinach is doing okay in these beds now. Hold on a second, let's see if I can get in. Right, so the first time I set these up, I actually set it up without a post, and she got really annoyed with me because she couldn't reach it, because obviously it's just for the blue tits. So I've had to put the post in so that they can both feed off it as well. He's just down here at the moment, picking up any of the crumbs. Right, let's just zoom back out again. There we go. Right, so I'll just move down here now. Right, so it's actually the next day now. I had problems with the microphone, so this actually shows one of the reasons that we want to take this mini greenhouse down. You can just probably see how that bed is getting sunshine, but this bed is still in the shade. Right, so well, I'll just move the camera closer just to show you this bed. Here's a clip I took the other day when we were on the walk, and there's all the starlings, they were murmuring. So I'll just show you that while I set up. Right, so this kale bed is doing okay. This one here is going to flower, and I think this one may go to flower. But what this was just an experiment, so I can plan for this year what to do with the kales. So I mean, they're taking a battering. With 2 times we've had -10, and you see quite a lot of them have had quite a lot of windrock. But because I've not protected them, I now know what they can take, and obviously hopefully this year I can protect them and also stake them up. But we'll start taking some pickings from the Nero, and also the red Russian is just starting to take off now as well. But we won't be doing the green curly kale. The caterpillars still survive in it, and they just hide away in the ruffles of it, so we won't be doing that again. We keep on finding the caterpillars every time we wash the leaves. So I've also put in some new Chinese cabbage, and again this is taking a battering from the slugs, and surprisingly underneath on where the leaves touch the ground, the worms really enjoy munching away at it as well. So yeah, at the moment the kale has been quite a success really, and hopefully we'll get good pickings off them, and if they do go to flower I'll just try some of the flowers as well. Right, onto these brassicas as well now. Right, so these are all the brassicas. We've got purple sprouting broccoli, cauliflowers and cabbages. Now the cauliflower, I don't know whether you can just see, is that's gone. And so is the cabbage. They've just been decimated by the slugs, but that's okay. Again, all of these were put in just to see what I could do to try and get an early crop for the spring. Purple sprouting broccoli is doing okay. We're starting to get florets coming on those, so that's working well. But I don't think I can do cauliflower outside over winter. Again, all I wanted to do was see what these would actually take with the frosts that we've had and all the rain. So what I'll be sowing next is I will be doing a green sprouting broccoli and a purple sprouting broccoli. Both of those are summer. They're going to go into some of these bigger tubs. And I'll also be sowing some more cauliflower. Now I don't want to do too many brassicas for over the summer, just because it becomes a nightmare with the caterpillars. So what I'm going to do is try and do them as early as possible, the sowings, and then just leave it at that. And whatever we get is whatever we get on the brassicas. Right, let me show you the kohlrabi. Right, so the two tubs are done okay, and the kale over there, that's going over. Probably this kale is as well. Like I say, it's not the end of the world for us because there's too many caterpillars in this. But the mustard wasabi, the Mizuna, that's done all right the way through the garden. So I'll definitely be doing that again for over winter. And it's the same with the kohlrabi. These are just starting to swell up, both the giant and the purple. So we'll do another sowing in the next week for more kohlrabi. But again, that'll be it then, because I don't want these going into the summertime because they just get decimated. And what has been decimated is the cabbages. They've just taken a battering from the slugs and also the weather. So I now know if I'm going to do a cabbage or cauliflower over winter, that it needs to go into the greenhouse. So let me show you the greenhouse as well. Oh, it's lovely and warm in here, especially with it being so cold outside. Right, so in here I've taken all the spinaches and the rockets and put them into pots now out of the tubs, just so I can start planting them out, have them ready for whenever I find a space. And the kale in here, that's done okay, so I may keep one and two of these in here over winter next time. But the chard is just starting to take off now. So I'll see whether I will do one in the greenhouse next winter, but we'll see on that. What else we got? Right, these are the onions I desperately need to pot on. But what we have got is we've got a couple more days of frost now, and then a couple more days of frost in the first 2 weeks of March. But then it may be a bit more frost free. So what I need to do is probably put those on, and then I'll plant those out after the next lot of frost in March, because I desperately need to sow my broad beans, which I haven't done yet because I'm going to need to use those. And it's also the same for my sweet peas. I haven't done those yet, but what I have done is I've started to prep all the tubs for them. What I'm finding is it's hard to get compost that's not soaking wet now. So what I've done is empty out all the tubs that were in here. I'm just going to reuse that for the seedling. Right, to summarise what I've sown, or what I had planned to sow in February, and again, this is just my plan. It's just because I've got a limited amount of space. I'm trying to plan when to sow, just to try and make the most of all the space that I've got. There's plenty of time for you to be sowing any of these right away into March, April and so on. So what have I done so far? Well, I haven't done the sweet peas yet, but hopefully they'll get done. And the same with the broad beans. I've got the green sprouting and the purple sprouting broccoli. Again, there's plenty of time for that. You can go right the way through to, when is it, March and April time. So there's plenty of time for you to be sowing that. It's just that I want to do it before the caterpillars come, the butterflies. So again, I don't want to be protecting anything, or as little as possible. Same with the cauliflower and both the giant and the purple kohlrabi. And then also I've sown the first Feltham early pea and the Provence as well. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. Right, so like I always say, I hope you enjoyed the video and I hope to see you again.